Welcome to the Metaphor Mindset Studio. As we get started on your journey, one of the biggest questions people ask me and come to me with as they're starting their new business and as they're working on their creative process is, why do I avoid, procrastinate, and resist? This is a question we all ask, and I would just like to explore it a little bit with you in the hopes that what we find will help you along your way. And I have some tips for you at the end. The motivational triad is basically the way our mind and body works, developed over millennia. We seek pleasure, we avoid pain, and we conserve energy. And this has helped us survive and thrive as civilizations and as species. One thing I want to point out, as this is neutral, our brain wants to help us and keep us safe and healthy. So it can be good or bad. In good ways, we seek pleasure by eating and sleeping, by connecting with others, by exercising, by playing and creating. We avoid pain by creating safe environments, staying healthy, predicting risky situations, not allowing painful emotions. And sometimes that's good because it can help us get on with things and not have to be stopped in our tracks by a death or by something that is very painful that might keep us down for months into depression or something like that. So these types of avoiding pain can be positive for our survival. We conserve energy by sleeping and resting, creating routines in our lives, innovating, batching tasks, and solving problems. You've probably seen Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It starts with the physiological and moves to safety, social belonging, esteem, and self-actualization at the top. And you might have seen this one already also, Wi-Fi. So in our society, our needs and our desires have often become seen as essential when, of course, they're really not. And this is where buffering comes in. We seek pleasure by buffering. Buffering is basically avoiding a feeling or an emotion or an action that is uncomfortable. And we do this by seeking pleasure in our screens, in food, in alcohol, in shopping, etc. We also seek pleasure in maybe not positive ways by repeating the past, repeating habits and efforts that may seem stable, but often they don't help us to move forward. Also, we envision the future instead of taking action towards it. We often daydream, and it brings a lot of pleasure to daydream. And as artists, this is necessary. So we have to find the balance between envisioning and looking to the future and planning and taking action. So we avoid pain in a negative way by keeping things the same, by avoiding decisions, just not making decisions because we feel confused, indulging in confusion and just spinning. We also avoid the pain of reaching out and failing by staying small or not speaking up and not learning new things or not creating something that is out of our comfort zone. We also avoid pain by not showing our experiments because it seems too risky, not processing our feelings and emotions, not processing and feeling our emotions. And this can be negative because, of course, we can repress our emotions and they can come up in unhealthy ways. We also avoid pain by creating safe work, by creating work and art or any type of creation that we know people want, we know we can sell. And often that, yes, is safe, but it doesn't push us to the next level. We also avoid pain, just like we seek pleasure, by buffering. We conserve energy by buffering. So you probably see a theme here. We often avoid things by finding something else to do that is more pleasurable. So we conserve energy by doing the same things over and over. We also conserve energy by not thinking too hard, by just thinking the same thoughts that we have thought and just getting into our routines and habits that feel comfortable. But sometimes they don't serve us. This is great news. Your body and brain works. And I just want you to know that, what does this mean? It means you're human and it affects everyone. I think the reason it affects artists and creative entrepreneurs mostly, or in a special way, is because we're always wanting to push ourselves to the next level. And we do have a sense of creating discomfort in our lives. But when we get to that edge and we need to go further, it just feels more painful. And we're already working so hard that it feels difficult to express and to push ourselves even further. So, in order to change, we need to be willing to embrace that discomfort. I have a simple strategy that I've been helping my clients with and helping myself try to get through this process. And also, I've used these 3 pillars to develop my business and to learn how to think about my business differently. 1, create an atmosphere. 2, make decisions. And 3, walk the path. I'll go through them one at a time. As an artist, we create an atmosphere. As creative people, we're always wanting to create an atmosphere in our studio. We want things to be a certain way. We want to sit in that Paris cafe and write. And sometimes it's hard for us to actually do our work if we don't have an atmosphere that works for us. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But sometimes we don't realize how powerful we are, and we can create an atmosphere for ourselves if we just think about it a little bit differently. So your role as an artist and an entrepreneur is to create an atmosphere in your brain where your thoughts are positive, where your emotions are allowed. When you have negative emotions, you deal with them and process them. You're creating an atmosphere in your brain of experimentation, of safety, but also of embracing discomfort. When you accept this and create this atmosphere in your brain, nothing seems too scary. You can work through it and you can move through it and you can progress. So create an atmosphere in your studio. Take the time to make this a really wonderful place to work. And if that means stopping what you're doing and cleaning things up and organizing things, that's okay. It can be seen as buffering, or it can be used as buffering, where we're just puttering around and we're not actually working. But if you set this time aside to actually do this and create the atmosphere you need to thrive, then it is useful. And create an atmosphere in your business. This is where you can feel comfortable with your discomfort, where you can create an atmosphere of growth and thoughts that will help take you forward. This takes work and this takes time. But when you can really think about how you create an atmosphere right now in your brain, in your studio, and in your business, you can think about if that atmosphere is working for you. And if not, how can you make it better? Number 2, make decisions. When you have an empire mentality, meaning that your business and your art is your own little empire, then you can decide how things work. You can decide what risks you're going to take. And I love this statement, failure reveals the right path. It helps me embrace the discomfort of failing. And also, I can practice emotional adulthood, meaning I can take responsibilities for my emotions, take responsibility and acknowledge that I'm feeling discomfort. I'm feeling lazy. I'm feeling like I don't want to expend energy. And I can look at that and ask myself why, and then help myself work through that process and coach myself. By taking responsibility, we become emotional adults and we can help ourselves move forward. Then walking the path. If you invest in yourself, if you invest in time, if you invest money, if you invest in classes, and if you invest in spending the time to create a schedule for yourself and trust yourself to stay on that schedule, you slowly can walk the path towards your goals. Sometimes we want to run. Sometimes we want to jump on a train. But walking the path, one step at a time, at your own speed, is really going to get you there in a more effective way. Also, build accountability into your process. If you have a coach, if you have an accountability group, a mastermind, a critique group, a friend that you can report to, it really is helpful. Even if you have a schedule that you really try to stick to, that creates accountability. Setting goals, working towards specific deadlines, all of that, all of this process of creating a vision for yourself, creating a vision for your business, setting goals, and all of the things that you'll work on in this program are meant to help you invest in yourself, build accountability into your process so you can walk your own path. So one last thing. I love Kathy Kolbe's commitment scale. It goes from having an intention, attempting something, and then committing. And I love that. There's a difference between just wanting to do something, to trying to do it, to committing to do it. But one thing I feel was missing: failing and learning. And this becomes kind of a cycle. We want to do something, we have the intention, we attempt it, and we may fail. And so we may just stop and not go any further. But if we can attempt something, fail, and learn from it, then we can commit to that process. Fail and learn. Attempt, fail, and learn. Attempt, learn. Sometimes we don't fail, sometimes we do fail. But if we commit to the process and just keep going forward, then we can walk our path with more confidence. Thank you. I hope what I've said today will bring you some relief to know that you're human, to know that you're on the right track, to know that you are thinking like an artist, and I hope this can help you work like a boss. If you have any questions, please email me at hello@shannonborg.com. I'm really looking forward to hearing from you. Thank you.